Today, we're diving into a really cool, kind of radical reimagining of the comic book icon Vampirella. It's a concept that takes one of her biggest, longest-running weaknesses, decades of confusing stories, and actually forges it into her greatest source of power.
And that really gets us to the heart of it, right? For years, Vampirella's biggest problem has been this fractured, contradictory history. But what if all that chaos wasn't a bug in her story, but a feature just waiting to be unlocked?
Okay, so to really get why the solution here is so brilliant, we first have to understand the sheer depth of the problem. We're not just talking about a character with a messy backstory, this is a profound, weaponized identity crisis. She is literally trapped in a prison inside her own mind. Vampirella just can't tell what's real anymore. Is she this tragic alien refugee from the planet Draculon? Or is she the demonic daughter of Lilith? The thing is, her memories have been intentionally shattered, turning her own life story into a psychological weapon used against her.
You know, this constant psychological assault creates a very specific condition, a philosophical one called ressentiment. It's this deep, toxic feeling of being defined by forces you can't control. She's living in a state of existential nausea, only knowing what she's been told she is, never what she actually is.
So, who would do this? Who is responsible for all this pain? Well, the answer is as shocking as it is tragic. The architect of her trauma is her own mother. Meet Lilith. But in this version, she's more than just a bad mom. She's a manipulative writer. She uses a magic mirror not just to tell lies, but to implant entire contradictory realities into her daughter's mind. She doesn't just hide the truth, she enjoys destroying it, trapping Vampirella in this endless loop of confusion and suffering. So how do you fight a villain whose weapon is reality itself? You don't fight her with fists, no. You fight her with philosophy. And this is where a new ally enters the picture, Sophia, the first woman. Now this is so important. She's not a warrior. She is a primordial scholar, a figure whose name literally means wisdom. Her job isn't to give Vampirella another origin story to believe in, but to give her the tools to make sense of the chaos. And this table just lays out the two paths in front of Vampirella perfectly. On one side, you've got Lilith the writer, who forces narratives on her through chaos to create that toxic resentment. And on the other, you have Sophia, the scholar, who helps interpret those narratives with wisdom, teaching, affirmation, and self-creation. It's really a choice between being a character in someone else's story or finally becoming the author of your own.
And here it is, the huge revelation from Sophia. It's this. Stop looking for the one true story. The lies, the contradictions, the manipulation, that is the fundamental truth of your existence. The key is to accept it, to affirm it. And when you do that, you no longer need any single fixed identity to define you.
Now, this profound internal shift doesn't just stay philosophical. Oh no, it manifests physically, unlocking a massive new story arc with cosmic consequences. It's called Eclipse of the Blood Sun. The centerpiece of this new story is the Lunaris Arcadian. Now, this is not just some magic rock. It actually builds on the lore from the 2019 Christopher Priest run, where her home, Draculon, is a moon. Well, this artifact is a geopsychic fragment of the dead planet Arcadia that Draculon used to orbit. It literally contains the crystallized magic and the gravitational energy of that dead world. And of course, things get complicated fast. The stone bonds with Vampirella, sensing that she's this unique bridge between alien biology and occult power. But the artifact has only one goal, to bring its dead world back to life by using Earth's biosphere as fuel. So Vampirella has to master its insane necrogravity energies or watch our entire world get eaten. So to control this cosmic power, she performs a ritual and fuses the stone directly onto her chest. And this act doesn't just contain the artifact, it unlocks an entirely new state of being for her, a powerful form known as the Twilight Monarch. And the power upgrade she gets is astronomical. She gets a gravimetric grip, which is basically tactile telekinesis. She can command shadows, hardening them into weapons, or even teleporting through darkness. Even her necromancy evolves into something called sanctified necromancy, a tool for justice, where she can raise the dead to get information, not to build an army. But wait, there's more.
Her senses expand to a planetary scale, letting her map entire cities with echolocation. She can weaponize her voice into destructive screech cannons or project a twilight flame blast. And get this, it's a cold, black light fire that literally eats magic. It's the perfect anti-demon weapon with zero collateral damage.
So just how strong does she get? The benchmark they use is Miracle Man level. Yeah, we are talking about lifting 85 to 100 tons. That's catching a falling airplane, ripping through military bunkers, and hitting with enough force to level city blocks. This is a quantum leap in her power level.
But let's bring this all back home. This incredible new power isn't just a power-up for the sake of it. It's the physical proof of her internal victory. By finally embracing all the chaos, she totally rejects the idea of being a victim. She's no longer defined by Lilith's twisted stories or any other narrative someone tried to force on her. She becomes her own Übermensch, that's Nietzsche's overhuman, someone who doesn't need a single identity because she is at last completely free to create her own.
And this is the ultimate reversal, the ultimate checkmate. Her weaponized past is now her weapon. She remembers every lie, every timeline, every single recon. And instead of it destroying her, she now operates on this closed causal circuit, a self-sustaining reality loop that makes her immune to being manipulated ever again. She is, in a word, uncontainable.
And all of that leaves us with one final, kind of mind-bending question. We've seen her go from a prisoner of lies to the author of her own truth. So what happens now? What are the limits for a being who can literally weaponize forgotten realities? The future, it seems, is finally unwritten, and for the very first time, she's the one holding the pen.